Hi, my name's Robert. I'm the president of Permaboss, and I'd like to introduce you to the Libero single. What I'll do first is go over the basic function of the machine and explain how it works. I've got it in the manual mode, and we basically have a picking station, and we have what we call a header, or where we transfer it. And this right underneath here is the work area, which you'll see moving in just a second. So the machine is obviously in a manual or in an automatic mode by your selection, and right now it's in the manual mode. And here's what our machine does. I'm going to trigger it individually. So the first thing that happens is the header goes down and it goes to collect the stone. And in this hopper is basically a system that we have running for the last 18 years. Everything else out there is essentially a copy of what we do. We're the only company that has machines running over 18 years around the world in the United States, and probably have the customers with the most amount of machines. Some customers have 6 or 7 machines because they have such a lucrative business. This is our baby. It is exactly 1/4 or 1/6 of the larger machines that we've been selling for so many years, and the parts are completely interchangeable. Everything is a brand name. Every little valve, every little filter, cable, component, okay, has a brand name on it. And it's so important for you to understand, because machines that are typically made in Asia, they find the cheapest components in order to sell it at the price that they do. If they would use the same parts that we did, if they made the machine the same way, it would make a difference, and their prices would be identical to ours, let's say just for the labor. But for example, the Korean labor is very on par with the North American or the European labor prices. So this machine is a premium machine, but you will be able to run this machine 24 hours a day. You'll be able to run it 7 days a week, and you can run it for years without having any major service call. There's a couple little things you have to do, but we even put the filters on the outside, so you never really have to go inside the machine now. So again, the robotic arm, what we call the picker, goes down into the hopper. In the hopper, it can choose from 1, 2, 3, or 4 crystals. So most machines only let you choose from 1, and 50% of the time they can be upside down. Here, we have 4 times better chance of using the cheapest Chinese crystal and getting it at the same time. If you look at the glue later on when we go close up, you'll notice there's 2 different brands of cheap Chinese crystal. You'll notice that we make the stones virtually touch, and that we use the smallest stones. I challenge you to go to any trade show and find any machine that can run the entire trade show with the cheapest crystals touching for the entire trade show. Nobody can do it. It can't be done unless you have a Libero machine. So the picker then goes forward to present itself and grabs the crystal, and comes back and has the crystal presented here. Watch this. If the crystal isn't there for some reason, I just removed it, the robotic arm doesn't go. It knows, hey, wait a minute, go back, try again. So now it grabs the crystal, presents it, transfers it, and continues on. And there, and it transfers it onto the sheet. So what I have to do quickly is I have to reference the machine before I start a job. So I'll go into the machine settings here. I'll reference the the table on the X, reference the work table. This is the thing we do the very first time. And I'll reference the swivel, okay? And I will go into the automatic mode, and I'll simply press start. So you see it didn't catch a stone there, and rather than making a mistake where you have to go back and correct by hand, it would rather go back and do it on its own. If you get a stopwatch or a timer right now, you press info on your DVD player, what you'll be able to do is actually watch the time, and you'll see that we're hitting in the 90 to 100 stones per minute. Now, people make claims they can do 200 stones per minute, but they can't do it in production. They can't do it with small, big, medium crystal. They can do it in a perfect scenario, but not in a daily production environment, and certainly not with a larger stone. So that's not a fault, that's not a hesitation, that's the robot knowing there isn't a crystal there. And I'm purposely, for this video, picking the toughest crystal. I'm picking the cheapest crystal, I'm picking 2 of the cheapest brands, mixing them together in one hopper, which is completely unheard of. And then I'm picking a design where I'm making the stones literally touch. So when I zoom into here in a few minutes, when it's worked its way out, you'll notice there's 2 different colors of glue on that crystal. So the idea is that I can walk away from the machine now and do something else. In this particular case, we have two work surfaces. So what we do is we prepare it by putting down the transfer paper. And the benefit is that when you're running a job, you can have the next one queued up. And we'll do that. I'll show you exactly how that works. When the machine stops, you can switch out and go right away. Notice how there's 4 crystals, 2 crystals lined up. What I'll try and do is I'll try and knock some out. There's some knocked out here. Watch what happens. See? Won't take another crystal until they're all lined up again. I also want you to notice that you don't need a tremendous amount of crystals, but we have a glass cover so you can load it up and let it run very intense designs with high crystal counts for a long period of time. This is a demonstration to show how fast the XY table can move.